Taking a knee as they'll start at the 21-yard line.
Ready? 5-9.
Mike, 45. Watch the slate.
Easy, opposite.
45 to Mike, 45 to Mike.
Hey, wahoo!
Check Mike, 45. Check Mike, 45. Here we go.
Wait, wait.
45 is Mike, 45. Here I come.
Off the play fake to Kamara, it's Breeze. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. Looking for Thomas, but that's intercepted. Ricardo Allen with a pick, and his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. Boy, an aggressive play call to start this game. It backfired, but aggressive, no question about that.
Is that one of those statement calls? Trying to let you know that they're going to be aggressive right out of the gate, but that one hung up just a little bit too long. He made a nice play on the ball defensively and was able to pick it off.
A carry for Devontae Freeman, who missed most of last season. Yeah, this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
And Falcons fans everywhere excited that Devontae Freeman is back on the field wearing number 24 in the red and black. Remember, he went down in week 2 in 2018 with an injury and didn't return. They're hoping to see the form that led him to 1,000-yard seasons in 2015 and 2016. He had to figure they'd try and get the ball to Julio early, and they did it right there. And it doesn't take a degree from MIT to know that, so you had to figure, what's up with the defense? You should know that that's coming right away.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 25 yards, the pickup there, and also a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral, also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Give the sack to David Onyemata, the product of Nigeria by way of Canada.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked.
Let's bring it. Watch twist. Watch twist. Back. Mike 56. Mike 56. Hey, watch the slant.
51.
56. 30.
Gotta go.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Ryan, and it's hauled in by Austin Hooper. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. A big gain there after going backwards, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where he, the big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
We got 21.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. That'll set him back with a loss of 3 on the play. And that'll make it 2nd and goal.
Ready, blue 80. Like 25.
Check 50. Check 50.
Hey, Tuesday. White.
Ryan. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Even without a ton of pressure in his face, it just shows how difficult it is to pick apart his own defense. Those guys are sitting back, and they're not playing receivers as much as they're playing the eyes of the quarterback and when he delivers the ball.
The crowd here in the Dome making things difficult. 3rd and goal.
He's crashing.
Check.
From the gun, it's Ryan. In a double cover. range, and it's intercepted. Picked off with great anticipation. He's got the lane, and there he goes. Past the 20, 10, and he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So from one end zone all the way to the other. Talk about a turnaround.
And how about the excitement that play generates for his team? Not just the points on the board, but the momentum and taking it from coast to coast, end zone to end zone. What a tremendous play. Now get that man an oxygen tent.
That's your boy Old Mo. You said momentum, right?
Old Mo, I think he's kind of limping across at the end because of that distance, but he made it.
Lutz with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. And now the Saints are going to take a timeout on defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. So 2nd and inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Ryan on the handoff. It's Freeman. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
I know what you're thinking out there. I know a lot of you are thinking, take a shot downfield. It's a great spot for it. I'd say maybe later in the game, definitely in the second half. But right now, I think they were just trying to get some momentum built. Get a first down, pick it up, and keep moving.
Throwing now, Ryan on first down. And he will find Ridley. That's complete. And down he goes at the 45 after a pickup of 9. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy.
And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Cameron Jordan in there to get him, and that is now sack number 18 on the season for him. So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons.
Check 52. Check.
Out of the gun, it's Ryan. Going for the deep ball. Oh, it's intercepted. He was trying to give it to Ridley. Picked off by Eli Apple. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. This is Alvin Kamara, who made the Pro Bowl in each of his first 2 NFL seasons. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's Breeze. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On first down, Breeze. Nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Grady Jarrett making his presence felt. He gets the sack.
At the Falcons' 28-yard line.
They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12.
Hey, easy.
Who's that? Is that yours? Who's that? 45. Mike, 45.
Yo, 21.
Let's go, baby.
Ready, touch.
To throw, it's Breeze. And complete, right side to Cook. The ball comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Ready.
5 men in the secondary now for the Falcons on 3rd down. Shotgun now for Breeze. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So he splits the uprights and has to be a nice feeling. Right when it left his foot, knew it was good.
Yeah, just like a good three-point shooter in basketball, right? Release the ball, fall back on defense without even looking. You know it's going in the hoop.
The Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. No one is mistaking me for a doctor, though. But thank you, Dr. Davis.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Right 25.
Right there, 56.
Check.
Sponge.
Hey, Tuesday.
Hey, alert 3. Check it out, read. Out.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Ryan. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Ken Crawley. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Ready.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Exit.
11.
Fine. Watch the curve.
So after the INT, it's Breeze. That is caught inside the 5. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Ted Ginn, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Lutz good on the extra point. And that makes our score 17-0. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
We know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you
Now
just
you
called
can
it.
go.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it. You mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that they've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
He sets to fire deep. He's got a man complete. And all the way down to the the 24-yard line. It's a big play there for Atlanta, and even 50 yards. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. On 1st down, it's Freeman, and not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23. Give him maybe a yard, quite the opposite from the previous big gainer.
Well, they had that one sniffed out. Excellent run blitz. Stopped that one for a short gain.
What makes a good run blitz a good run blitz?
The ability to stay on task, to follow up your assignment, go to the gap you're supposed to cover, and not be deterred by anything else.
Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. So as they take it over, we step aside. On 2nd and 9, Ryan, nowhere to turn this time, and he goes down. Sacked back at the 29. Cameron Jordan in there for the sack, and he's closing in on the all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons. Here's Ryan. And that'll be incomplete. Now, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Here's Bosher to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They begin on the ground with Kamara. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. And here's a throw that's taken in by the tight end Cook. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Jared Cook is a guy who's been around the NFL. He's been with the Titans, the Rams, the Packers. In the last 2 years in Oakland, now he makes a move to the Big Easy, where he pairs with Drew Brees and forms a nice little threat.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Check. Hey, kill.
Brees leaves this one with Kamara. Tackle made by Devondre Campbell.
It's easy work, and it's coming again.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10.
1st and 10.
61, match box, lights.
Don't get nervous. 45's the mic, 45's the mic. Tackles, tackles.
5-9.
Hey, check mic 45, check.
Hey, Delta.
Stay with your man.
From midfield, here's Breeze. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And he'll get it into enemy territory just across midfield at the 49. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9. Here's Breeze to throw. Flush to his right. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now.
Incomplete on the throwaway. It's now 3rd down and 9 yards to go.
Ready?
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9.
Hey, we got 3 down.
Working from the gun, it's Breeze. He rifles one that's intercepted. It's Desmond Trufant.
You see it all day.
His guys take over 1st and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. Time here for likely one play, then off to the locker room, and they're going to have some adjustments to make.
They certainly will, and I think a lot of people are thinking to themselves, all right.
And he's taken down here by the Saints. So we have come to, and okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the 2nd half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the 2nd half, too. And they're scripting something that they...
And he can't escape the pressure. Ryan goes down. Cameron Jordan, it's his 20th sack of the season as he continues what could be a record-setting campaign. So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons.
Check 3, check 3, check 3. 54, down. Got to go.
From the shotgun, Ryan airing it out, looking for Ridley. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. It's a big play there for Atlanta. 56 yards. So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's 1st down on the other side of the field. Now Ryan going to give it to Freeman. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or 2.
2nd and 12 at the Saints 32-yard
line. 21. I got you. I got you. Check 43. 21.
On 2nd and 12, Ryan. Sanu with a grab over the middle. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
Switch it. Come on, switch it.
Check four.
Hatch it.
And now a 10th carry for Freeman. And he picks up the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 16. They have the first down with that gain of 4 yards.
And the Falcons first down.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10.
20.
Now Ryan. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. Cameron Jordan in there for the sack, and that is now 21 for him on the year. Wow, what a season. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Here's Ryan to throw. And the pressure gets to him again. Marcus Davenport in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
And it's 3rd down. 3rd and long.
So the sack pushes him back, and now 3rd and long for Ryan and the Falcons.
Watch out.
Operating from the gun, Ryan. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man on man, and you got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive gets them 3, not 6.
Is it okay if I give credit to both sides on this one?
Absolutely.
All right, let's start defensively. They hung in there. 10-play drive, but they stiffened when they got close to the goal line, made them kick a field goal. And for the offense, 10-play drive. They might be a little disappointed they got a field goal, but they moved the ball down the field with dispatch and came away with points.
Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. They had that first half lead, but they have been shut down here in this 3rd quarter, so time to retool a bit.
And probably need to tap into that emotional vein that gets them back to really playing hard and effectively. Because a lot of times we think it's just play calls and this isn't working and they're shutting them.
It's caught inside the 25. A big-time play there for New Orleans. 58 yards. The last drive he threw the pick, but he's not shy. He's going downfield again there.
And you can't be, because if you back off after throwing an interception, your whole game plan just goes right out the window, and it makes things easier for a defense. And you and I both know there's a quarterback in this league that's any good that doesn't throw an interception occasionally, and they usually bounce back in a big way. I've seen guys throw 5 and still find a way to win the game in the end.
Call that a gain of 5 as the clock ticks inside of 2 minutes to go now in the 3rd.
Single slot.
2nd and 5 now. Breeze, catch here, left side, Thomas. First catch for last year's NFL catch leader, and it's a first down. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Rush in.
Good. My 4, ready.
Kamara trying again. And he gets halfway home from the 4 down to the 2-yard line. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
Breeze going to throw. Got a man open. It's Thomas. It's a touchdown for New Orleans. Michael Thomas, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Saints able to stretch that lead out further. Lutz with the extra point. Back now here live in New Orleans. For the 4th quarter, we'll begin with a kickoff following the score on the final play of the 3rd quarter. That'll be taken in the end zone.
Good work, boys. Let's go. Let's go.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
Check 3, check 3, check 3.
Ryan. That's caught over the middle. Hooper. And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
First down, Atlanta.
Ryan now 9 of 15 throwing the ball, 60%, and it's 1st and 10. Now it's Ryan. Going up top. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Check 24. Check 24. Hey, 59, ready.
To throw again. Ryan. And that's going to wind up incomplete. However, we do have a flag down. Let's check in with our referee. So flag for the contact, pass interference.
And I know that you're going to look at me and roll your eyes, and rightfully so, because you know what I'm going to say. Doesn't the defender have a right to the football as well?
No, I don't like defenders.
That's because you spent too much time with me. Okay, I'll side with you on this one. This is the correct call.
David Onyemata there on the tackle. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back, those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
A gain there of 21 yards. Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
To throw is Ryan. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
On 2nd down, Freeman. And he'll be stopped up after only a couple of yards as he gets it down to the 5.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. On 3rd and goal, Ryan. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. So now 4th and goal. You're trailing by a decent amount here. What are you doing, Coach Davis?
Well, I've got to think to myself, just how many more opportunities am I going to have this close and have this chance? I've got to go for it right here. The clock's dwindling on me. Let's go get it done.
You better bring
Under 10. 10.
Fourth down. Here's Ryan. And that will be taken in by Ridley for a Falcon touchdown. Calvin Ridley, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons cut into that lead.
Touchdown, Atlanta. Giorgio Tavecchio.
It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. Extra point up and good by Tavecchio. And that makes it 24-13. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball.
16 yards right off the bat and a first down. And when do they start thinking about burning these timeouts? They've got all 3 still defensively.
To me, you have to start right now. Here's the time, and that means you've got to stop them on defense, not give up the yardage, use your timeouts in order to get the ball back and try and score yourself. But now is the time to start using those timeouts.
And keep in mind, it'll also stop the clock at the 2-minute warning. Throwing on first down is Breeze. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. They'll run. This is Kamara. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
Check. Jim.
Staying on the ground on first with Kamara. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory.
He's checking. Kill.
On second down, Kamara. Solid running on the carry, but still brought down just inside of the 40. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad.
Makes it 3rd and 4.
The Saints on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
Check 45 to Mike. Check 45 to Mike.
Now Breeze. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Well, that was an interesting little chess match there because the offense went empty set. No running backs in the backfield, so they're trying to get people out into a route pretty quickly. But guess what? The defense sees that. They go ahead and move themselves into a blitzing situation and come right after the quarterback. They had more guys there than they could block.
And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown...
And this is intercepted, and that should do it. picked off by a former first-round pick, Patrick Robinson. And the return will stop right around the 25. Well, Charles, he's thrown 5 picks in a game before, and right now, after that one, he's standing on number 4.
And right now, your defensive coordinator is asking the offense coordinator, can you do anything to slow this down? Because my guys have to keep running back out on the field, so play calling may come into it a little bit, maybe run the ball a little bit more, but a lot of it depends on the scoreboard. They may have to keep throwing it.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that, got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up.
They run it again with Kamara. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
A 32-yard attempt.
And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then, this game's over. Well, as always, partner, an extreme pleasure to share a booth with you. I have to say, I am impressed at your discipline because you came here and you said you were not going to eat any of the media buffet. You made it to the end. You didn't consume a single calorie.
I appreciate that. What you missed is me going to the concession stand outside of your eyesight and getting it done that way. Look, I mean, they were serving the good stuff. I had to do it.
Oh, man, but you're svelte, in good shape, but you cheated a little bit. We'll let it slide.
I appreciate that. Always a pleasure to work with you.
So for New Orleans, the win will help them keep pace in the playoff race as they move to 6-3 on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for Atlanta, the loss will drop them to 6-3 now on the year. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready?